Good day, podcast community. Pete Kane here, Podcast Pete and high performance coach. 50-year challenge. That's a lot of years. I want to share with you my 50-year struggle would be an understatement, but we all have it. We all go through storms. You can't avoid it. The world is storms, and you're going to go through them. But hopefully, I'm going to give you 3 of my discoveries. And hopefully, these 3 will help you to honor the struggle. I just gave you one of them. Okay, well, let's back up. Let's go back to when it all started over 3 years ago. I don't recommend you going through this, but I want you to know what the outcome of what it was. A stroke at 64. Losing your left side at 64. When you lose your left side, you lose most of your body, because when half the body doesn't work, it affects the other half, especially the plumbing. So you can take that for what it is. Okay. So over 3 years ago, February 5th, 3 years ago, I found myself having a stroke. The left side was absolutely going quick. I knew what it was. It's not like you don't know what's happening when you have a stroke of this, degree or whatever. But most people would think of calling 911. Didn't dawn on me. Like, why, people ask. I said, I don't know. Maybe it's dyslexia. Maybe it's ADD. Maybe I don't know. But here's what happened. I started calling family members. And family members have to call 911. But when you can't get through to family members and they're hanging up on you, you're losing valuable time. So as I was losing valuable time, I was losing my left side too. And little did I know that it was going to be the best blessing ever. Now, crazy as it seems, and I don't want it on anybody. But here's why. When you have 49 days on your back, not eating, drinking, go in the bathroom, take a shower, all these kind of things, talking, you got to learn. And when you have to rely on others, it changes your mindset and it humbles you. And I think we all need a little humbling. I know I did. And when I say that, us guys, and I'm speaking to our guys, we have that, we can do it all. We can do it. Like that, the old solo entrepreneur. I did it by myself. No, you didn't. You did it with a team. And there's no such thing as a solo entrepreneur. You do it as a team. You might think before you go out of business, but there's no solo to it. It's building a team. And my team at Shepherd was heaven on earth. When I went from hell, and I won't say where, but I spent 10 days in hell, and then I went to heaven. Wow. I can only imagine what heaven's going to be like, because Shepherd is heaven on earth. A team of people, catch me, a team of people greeted me, welcomed me. Then they took me from gurney, like a parachute, I don't know what you call it, to get off the bed, the ambulance bed, where they transported me from another hospital, which was hell, to heaven. I'm like, and it was kind of cool, to tell you the truth, because your body has weightlessness for, a second, or not a second, minute. But anyway, hearing the team, introducing the team, going on a 39-day journey with a team was the most impactful I've ever had in my life. And when you have people coming to you, family, friends, shepherd, and everybody that works there, and they're pouring into you, and you got half a body, and you find out a little bit later the severity of it. When Anya said to me, "Can I share something with you?" And I said, "Yes, absolutely. I'm not going anywhere." And this was the start of the Ukraine war. So we had gotten to know each other just through just all that starting up. And she was a believer. And so we talked about the spiritual journey. And it was a great conversation. And she said, "People that have a stroke like you don't make it. And if they do make it, they're a lot worse off. I'm sitting in a bed with half a body. Worse off? Like total paralyzed? Yes." And that kind of wakes you up. And she said this, "You had a little angel looking after you." So when she said that, kind of changed my mindset. And why I wanted to share this with you, I think, is to whatever storm you're going through, whatever. Mine was 50 years, and I'll share just a little bit of it. There is an end to every storm. And if you can change your mindset to honor the struggle, you are one step from making it a growth opportunity, because we grow through our tragedy. We grow through our trauma. We grow through our anxiety, through our depression, through all the things. Because when you're in the middle of a storm, you're not celebrating, but you got to honor it. You got to, what is God teaching me? What is God teaching me in this struggle? What can I learn? How can I grow? Because when you look at the term PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder, change the D, drop the D, put a G, and put it as growth. Because as my friend that I had on my podcast, Christian Doerr, shared with me, we have an opportunity to change our mindset from when you're going through a traumatic experience. And he did, having been in a concentration camp at age 5, not your ideal 5-year-old. Not your typical 5-year-old, but he did. And what it did, it put him on a path, a path of growth. And when you see what he's doing now, it'll knock your socks off. But he went through trauma. Just like I did, it put me on a growth journey. I had to first have that time by myself and with God, and thanking him for a second chance. And when you thank, and when you know you had a second chance, you don't blow it, because you have mortality motivation. So when you have mortality motivation, fear is like I lived in fear. When I say a 50-year challenge, dyslexia and ADD is kind of a weird combination, but I couldn't spell a sentence of 10 words. I misspelled 5 of them. When you're sending out emails and you're misspelling so many words, this is before Alexa, before Siri, before Google Voice to Text. When you're sending out and people are judging you and putting that label on you, which you end up putting on yourself, because it doesn't matter what people put on you. It's really here. It's what you put on yourself. I put it on myself. I put it on slow, stupid. You take these labels and they own you if you let them. And I let them. That's what happens. And then with that, you end up going to dark places because it starts to wear on you, and you just replay that record in your mind. So your brain becomes wired because of all the trauma you're going through, that you expect it, that you run from it instead of running into it. And if you can think of yourself as running into fear and honoring the struggle, you'll be so much better off. Easier said than done, but I did it. Had the stroke to wake me up, to give me a different mindset. So when you now have mortality motivation, I don't give a rip what anybody thinks. Yes, I'm going to do the right thing. But the people-pleasing nature is not there anymore. You're rewiring your brain. You're rewiring your 50 years. Now, I was addicted to drugs. Started with Ritalin and continued to Adderall. The one thing when I was in Shepherd, one thing that I focused on, I'm even embarrassed to say it, because I should have been focusing on my spiritual journey. Certainly did at times, no doubt. No, I'm not saying. But my focus is how quickly can I get back on the drugs? How quickly? And when I couldn't and I had to take a variation, I was working it. I was working it because I needed it. I thought I did. Because when you're on Adderall, legal speed, it does something to the brain. But if you can think, instead of taking drugs to give you that dopamine hit, that speed hit, improve your skills. That's what I started to do. I started to lean into personal development, listening to things that would help me get better. Yes, I listened to a lot of Christian music, just kind of getting that music because I wanted to honor the struggle. I wanted to be around spiritual music to fill my heart up with and to start changing. But the growth day, which is personal development, this was well after I went through more trauma. I've been doing growth day for a year. So I spent 2 years, but I still read books, listened to podcasts, just gave my brain a chance to rewire it to a positive personal development journey. Now I do the 5 to Thrive. The 5 to Thrive. And I want to give you something, because if you can understand the 5 to Thrive and you're in the middle of not knowing where you want to go, not having the clarity, and you can get Brendon Burchard speaking to you each day, and you can do the 5 to Thrive, then you're on your way to a journey that will be one that when you look back will be the journey, will be the time that you put the stake in the ground and said, I'm going to grow. I'm going to be intentional about it. I'm going to grow. I'm going to grow. I'm going to personally develop me. The magic is in you and anything's possible, but it starts with you. So if you are developing yourself, you're getting better, you're growing. And if you can imagine, and I've said it on other podcasts, you go a couple months without a shower or a bath or whatever honors you, but however you clean your physical body, you miss it for a couple months, you're going to be stinky. Not many people are going to want to be around you. However, we won't hesitate to leave this mind stinky because you can't see it, you can't smell it, but you can hear it come out of your mouth. It comes into your mind because you become toxic. We gravitate to negative things. We have between 12 and 60,000 thoughts that go through our head every day. And if those thoughts are replaying our negative path, we're programming our brain over and over and over again to be slanted towards being negative. But if you intentionally lean into personal growth, you get the 5 to Thrive. You start learning, you start growing, you start paying attention to your mindset. The outcome starts to be different. And you start making that transformation. That's possible. Do you ever stop? No. You always are working on becoming better. When you do that, you're constantly taking showers of personal development, and it's starting to work on your mindset. You start to set goals. You start to create habits. You start to change your life, and you start to see the difference. People start to notice the way you act, the way you interact, the way you communicate, the way you run your life, and it starts to compound. And then when it compounds, the magic starts. Remember the old parable about bamboo. It grows 8 years underground. Then when it breaks ground, thank you, Crystal Duke, it can grow up to 2 feet a day. So if you quit before it breaks ground, you don't get that hockey stick or whatever you want to call it of growth. So you're constantly working on yourself. You're working on that 8 feet. You're working on it. And then when it hits the ground, breaks the ground, that's when magical things happen, because the magic is in you. You have to intentionally, personally develop yourself. In Growth Day, 4 out of the 5 top training coaches, motivation people in the world are in Growth Day. That's a pretty good number. If I know my math, and I wouldn't say I'm a math expert, but that's 80%. 80% are with you, are in a community of a couple 100,000, probably growing well beyond that, because you can try it for 7 days. It's like going to Costco, sampling the good products, because if you sample it and you like it, you try it. Here, you sample it for 7 days, have Brendan, and then there's 2 questions that you get asked, another related video, then you score yourself. When you do that, it's kind of like, I forget the term, but when you're learning a language, you want to do these basic things every day. And it's like your basic shower of personal development. Because if you do that, let me see if I have anything. Nope, I don't. Okay. You do that, you're showering yourself with growth. When you're showering yourself with growth, the magic starts to begin. So I don't recommend having a stroke to have that self-awareness, but if you can personally Give yourself time to have that self-awareness through personal growth. Every single day, I think, I journal, I plan, and I implement. I think, I journal, I plan, and I implement. Just to give you an idea of how we label ourselves. Mars Bishop, a friend of mine, we reconnected after, 10 years or something. So we're talking in Rotary just the other day. No, we were talking after a podcast. And he does a lot of workshops, a lot of the mindset, motivation, empowerment things. And we have a similar story, stroke, challenges, maybe not my type of challenges, but he has his challenges. But anyway, it always creates a mindset when you go through that growth. Maybe it's been for him, he's not 50 years, but pretty close. He said this. We were talking about the disc, and I'm familiar with the disc, but he puts animals to help people kind of understand who they are. And when he said it to me, I went, whoa. He said, "You're a turtle." And I know I'm a turtle. I know. But a turtle is not like an animal I would want to claim. I'm a tiger. I wear red 95% of the time for Tiger Woods. When I step on that tee in a match play, I'm a tiger. I love it. I love the competition. I love the strategy. I love to get in people's heads. I love the whole competition. But when he said why I was a turtle, because I love strategy, I love thinking. But that's something I avoided because I just kind of knew it, didn't want to accept it, gave myself that label, which kind of helped feed my slowness thinking wise. Not that I'm slow thinker, I'm a methodical thinker. So plenty of times I wasn't the one to raise my hand and answer a question. I don't hesitate now because I'm clear about where I'm going. I've worked on Jim Kwik with the brain. I ended up going to Shepherd after a year and a half and taking a study, 2 years maybe. And I took a test, cognitive test. And after the test, 20, 25 minutes, whatever it was, all these questions, the guy turns to me and he says, he's looking at me very strange. I said, "What?" And he goes, "Have you ever taken this test?" I said, "No, why?" He said, "You got 100. You didn't miss a question." And the flood of emotion hit me. I'm still trying to work on that breathing, and I work on it all the time. It's because the right side of the brain is where the emotion is. I have never, can't remember getting an A in my life. Never. Not even a B. If I got a B, it was an accident. I would get F's and D's and some C's. Never graduated, never got any, failed English in high school, 2 failed attempts at Virginia Tech. Come home with my head between my tail, or whatever you say, head between your legs, having been humbled that, man, didn't know exactly what was going on, why I struggled. And then I got tested. And I thank my parents for doing it. I don't know what I did with it, but I did know that I was dyslexic and had ADD. Now, it kind of explained it, but I didn't know how to deal with it because technology hadn't caught up yet. So you go 30 years. And then once I was at the Shank School, which is a school in Atlanta for dyslexic people. And it was a study, a grant that they had. And I participated in it. I got tested. And Foster Souls, one of those. ADD, you flip words. But anyway, she says, "Hey, I got good news and bad news." I said, "Tell me, which one you want?" I said, "I don't care." Just tell me. You have dyslexia, but you're going to see different degrees of it in the class. And oh my gosh, was she right? Adults with dyslexia that would just crush your heart. Not being able to read anything. I can read, not the fastest reader, and miss the pronunciation of words, but I can at least do that. But you're around people that are operating in society and can't read. And you wouldn't know it because nobody can see that you have dyslexia. Nobody can see that they can kind of tell maybe sort of if you have ADD, active brain, but the D part, nobody can tell till they read an email and they see you misspell all the words, flip the letters, do all that kind of stuff. But I was been fired 5 times. So I'm not exactly what do you call employable, but it wasn't until the last 10 years that I decided I got to do my own thing because I ain't working for other people. So I just think differently. I act differently. And I have the active brain. I now know how to harness. That's where the superpower comes in. I'm so glad I have ADD. I'm so glad I have dyslexia because my brain thinks solutions, thinks differently, thinks methodically. And I can look at situations and I can figure out solutions just by assessing things. It's just never realized it till later in life. When I get in my own business, I could slow down to the point where I could work it at my speed, not the speed of whatever environment I was in, not having to send 100 emails and having all of them misspell words and having people going, what the heck? What are you trying to do? What are you communicating? When you have that, you have the ability. You're gifted. If you have dyslexia, you have ADD, you can be in an incredible ride. Lean into personal development. Lean into getting some help to harness your superpower. Now, if you have what we've been describing and you feel it's something you get stuck, you're taking pills and you're just not liking the way you're feeling, you're not processing properly, you think you're definitely different. 20% of the population has it. Most of them are high achievers once you harness it. Harness your superpower. Take a strategy session. Go to PeteKane.me. I will walk you through a clarity strategy session where you'll be clear. I'm a high performance coach, certified by Brendon Burchard, who created Growth Day, created a community of hundreds of thousands of people worldwide. I think it's 190 countries. Even our certified high performance coaches are in like 90 countries. This is a person, search him. Go search him. But I will give you 1 hour where we're going to roll up the sleeves and we're going to really find out what you're looking to accomplish. You got to have clarity in life. You have to have purpose. You got to have energy. You have to have influence, productivity. You have to have the 5 habits that Brendon's book, and let me see if I can get that book. I think I can. Hold on here. On the fly, I'm getting you access to, you got to be able to see it. I'm a visual person, so I'm hoping you are too. Okay, where's the high performance book? Hold on here. We'll get it for you. I just got to get it to come up. High performance. Where is that? Uh, okay, I'm close. I'm close. Where are ya? Where are ya? Oh, son of a gun. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll give you the next best thing. The 6 major trends: digital asset, entrepreneurial, crypto, AI, mobile, and personal development. These are all coming together now as we speak. And if you don't have clarity about where you're going and you're not practicing the high performance habits, which are clarity, energy, clarity, energy, clarity, clarity, energy, um, productivity, influence, and courage. Those are your 5. 5 to thrive, 5 are the habits. And when you look at the habits, I should have just gone to this. Yeah, there's the courage that, hey, look, because if you have courage and you have high energy and you got clarity where you know where you're going and you're productive, because both in this 12-week transformation, we're going to practice mastery in the second part of it. But the first part, we're going to get your goals, your focal points, then your courage, then your energy, then your and your clarity, your energy, your courage, productivity, and influence. You do that. Those are the 5. I thought I could give you the image, but High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. Get that book. You'll serve yourself. You can see it. There it is. There, right there. I love it. See right there? There it is. Okay. Man, hey, look, you always got to pivot. Okay. Now, what am I going to show you here? And in Growth Day, you're going to learn a lot about what really has helped me, besides the meditation part, to calm the brain. Journaling has allowed me to have that clarity. I have a course on clarity, on journaling. We give this course to our people that go on that 12-week transformation, because it is a 12-week transformation. You'll never be the same. It will unlock you. Will it be over after 12 weeks? No. You'll just discover the mindset for life. When you discover that mindset for life, then it becomes a superpower for you. So get self-awareness. Lean into personal development. Get it every day. Get the 5 to thrive. And honor anything you're going through. Because you have a choice. You have a choice. Do I complain about the situation I'm in, or do I honor it? When you honor it, your mindset changes. That way, you are growing through it. You're growing as a result of the trauma, not letting it wither you. Like Mark Little said, PTSD, post-traumatic stress withering. You don't want the W, you want the G, growth. So now, if this is something that you think you want to be a part of, connect with us. Go to pkane.me/connect. That way, we can put you in a community that'll challenge you, that will help you grow. And if you're interested in being a part, we give you a masterclass. This masterclass is our 10 steps to absolutely grow exponentially your business. And if that's our gift to you. So if you want to schedule a strategy session, clarity session, go to pkane.me. And then our magazine is one of the ways we build community. You can see our magazine. We select of the 36 we help you identify, you select 20 to go on a mastermind journey with you over 12 weeks. Because on the 12-week journey, you're going to cover the 12 sessions that are part of being a certified high performance coach. You're going to get those vocal points: clarity, energy, courage, productivity, influence, your mastery, psychology, physiology, productivity, persuasion, purpose, mastery, and then a commitment to a lifetime of being a high performer. It's different, but it takes a discovery. It takes you discovering the magic that you have. The magic is in you, and anything's possible. We hope to have you along with our journey, to support you, to take what looks like a label or a curse and make it your superpower, because we all have the potential. It's, do we activate it? Are we discovering the magic in ourselves? And is anything possible?